Hi, welcome. We are Global Prosperity Academy. This is our ultimate leadership community, and I am so grateful for waking up this morning in my right mind, but also having a community of people that I can share my life with and learn and grow with.
Michael Maxwell, Grand Rising, and Grand Rising, everyone in the room. My name is Joy, and I am here to share that and also grateful that I can find joy in a time such as this. Welcome.
My name is Alexei Musienko. I'm from Los Angeles, California. Good morning, Joy. It's a beautiful morning at that. I'm truly grateful to have this amazing family and the most amazing people in my life. So take it away, Max.
Grand Rising, Alexi. I'm here in California, and I'm grateful for being around like-minded people that support you in any which way and show unconditional love and don't judge, and just you can be yourself, and you can understand that you're not by yourself and you're in a security of love and appreciation. So thank you.
Grand Rising, Max. This is Shawneen. I'm also from Los Angeles. Grand Rising, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're from, and welcome. I am so grateful to be here once again with all of you amazing people to collaborate and share and build into our future.
Well, thank you. Thank all of you. And we're just grateful because we understand that the foundation of gratitude can give us all the joy we want, that happiness and success and prosperity and significance is really a decision. And I'm really excited today. We have a special guest speaker that's one of our own. He is the author of Network and Grow Rich. He's an entrepreneur that started and helped to scale 5, 6, even 7-figure businesses. And he now teaches others to do the same. What's really amazing about him is that he has a certain area of expertise. And I always knew he was smart. I mean, I've known this guy for years, but in some areas, I would say, go as far to say he's even a genius because he helps people. And I think the biggest thing about him is that you can be smart, but also kind of self-centered. He has a big heart and he absolutely has a passion for helping others. And I've experienced this over and over again. So I want to introduce to you, and I'm really excited about the training. I've had little samples of it. Please take notes and you will learn something that can help you not only in your life, but in your family, the people in your lives, in your community. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and my partner, Mr. Alexei Musienko.
I'm speechless. Thank you so much for those amazing words. And it's a true pleasure and honor to show up for this amazing community and family and share some of the wisdom that I had to learn the hard way. And this time is really about you and not about me. I'm here to serve this amazing community and to add value in ways that is not only worth your money that you are investing into this amazing project and community, but it's also worth your time. Because once you invest the time or you spend it, you can never get it back. So I'm always mindful of that. And I would love to make sure that you spending this time with us is truly adding value to you and making a difference in your life. I'll go ahead and share my screen. I think that will help the process go a little bit easier. I would love to start this conversation with one simple but very important question. What if you could live your extraordinary dream life, not someday, but today? But before we go any further, I wanted to take a moment and truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me the greatest gift today, which is your attention, and more importantly, your time. One thing I'll promise to you, that I will never waste it. As a direct result of the special private training, you'll know exactly how to guarantee your results, how to bring your dreams, goals into reality, how to unlock amazing leverage when it comes to your life, your business, and the impact you'd like to create in the world. And last but not least, how can you create, manage, and evolve life-altering, transformational relationships at your fingertips? My name is Alexei Musienko, and this conversation is going to be all about unlocking your full hidden potential by becoming the CEO of You Inc. See, if just for the moment you considered treating your life like a business and being very mindful and clear about what is the destination, what is the cost, and what is it going to look like to be on the other side. And what can you learn from a professional failure and a dream hacker? Hold on. Before you completely tune me out, if you're attending this special private training live or you're watching a replay and you just want to turn it off, I just want to be completely honest and transparent with you. The truth is, I failed a lot in my life, probably more than all of you here put together. I've got many things wrong in my life, and yet I've got a few of them right. And I wanted to share some of the biggest lessons that I've learned the hard way and pay the personal price for them so that you don't have to. See, I lost not only money, but the most important thing I lost over time is actually time itself. See, we can always make more money, but we can never make more time. So this is what my dream life looked like just a few years ago. See, I was living in my dream home in Hollywood Hills, setting up some of the greatest parties with some of the most amazing people. I was taking my dream cars to the track on a monthly basis. This was some of the things that I just love to do. Being able to take a day off, take a car to the track, and have it screaming down the back way at hundreds of miles an hour. And last but not least, I had an amazing girl in my life who I was considering proposing to, creating a family with. But see, not everything was rainbows and butterflies, just like in every assets of your life. I'm sure you've had some amazing moments in your life and not so amazing moments as well. And I can definitely relate because within 6 months of my greatest moments of happiness, I ended up clinically depressed with suicidal ideations. As much as I was getting to live the life of my dreams, my dream life became my nightmare. My Hollywood home became my prison. My cars no longer were bringing me joy. And my dream girl ended up walking away. That really put me in a deep, dark place. And if it wasn't for a few key people in my life, I don't know if I would still be here. And today I want to share with you some of the greatest lessons that I learned as I went through my transition from a life of luxury to a true life of meaning. And one of the things that I learned that in order to play the game of life successfully and more importantly, strategically, there were a few things that you just needed to know. Number one, what is the game that you're actually playing? And sometimes even more important thing, what are the rules of the game? See, if you don't know what game you're playing and you don't know the rules, how can you have even an expectations of winning against somebody that does? Now, which brings me really to the next question. What if you could pick the actual game that you're playing? See, when we talk about picking the game, I'm talking about really getting clear on what is it truly important to you in your life, because that is the game that you can choose to play. Next, what if you can actually create the rules that are in your favor and not set up for you to fail? And last but not least, who's actually stopping you from doing this? See, one thing I truly believe that if you're watching the special private training, you truly have the power to control your destiny and the quality of your life experience. But this conversation is not about me, but it is about you and you getting to unlock your amazing, true hidden potential so that you can get to live your extraordinary dream life today, not someday. Remember, that is the idea that we started this conversation with. And I want to honor your time and deliver on that promise because I'm here to truly serve you from the bottom of my heart. And see, we can do this two simple ways. One, I can deliver a world-class presentation to you right now that I am truly grateful for and blessed to deliver all over the world. Or we can truly co-create an amazing, fun, life-altering experience here together. But in order for us to be able to do that, I need your help. I need you to exercise your power of choice and share in the chat whether one, you want that keynote that has been shared all over the world, or number two, you want to create a life fun altering experience right here, right now. So let me check into the chat right now. Okay, I see 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. It sounds like twos have it. And that allows us to have a co-creation of an amazing and fun altering experience. I'm so glad that I have chosen to listen to my intuition and pick this slide deck, because I truly have both of them ready. But I knew something about this amazing, powerful group, or you actually watching me right now. I know that you are a truly amazing human being that wants more out of life, and you're willing to exercise your power of choice to create your amazing dream reality. So let's get started. See, if we're talking about a fun, life-altering experience, there's only 3 words that come to mind. And I want to share them with you right now. They're very simple words, but don't let the simplicity of these words fool you. They have truly the ability and the power to change your life if you actually allow them. The words are clarity, commitment, and community. But what do they actually mean to you? Let's explore this together. Let's start with clarity. See, the funny thing is about clarity is that if you don't know the destination that you're trying to get to, or the game of life that you're trying to play, it doesn't matter whether you're in a car, a train, a boat, or a jet, you truly are not going to get there. Let me give you a bit of a metaphor. Because so many people that come to me that I get to work with, they come to me and say, "Hey, Alexi, I'm clear about my life." But how clear are you? Is your clarity like this windshield? You kind of know where you're going, but it's full of dirt. Or you're not quite fully clear what your future looks like. See, just like with this picture and this example, the truth is, if you're being completely honest with yourself, you're not going to go very fast because you can't quite see where you're going. See, that's why it's so important to take the time to create the clarity in your life, to clean the windshield, so that you can truly start moving towards your extraordinary dream life much faster and easier, because you don't have to guess due to the lack of clarity whether you're going in the right direction. See, and let's imagine you are in that perfect vehicle that will get you to the life of your dreams, and you have the most ultimate, amazing GPS of success. But there's only one problem. The GPS of success is worthless without these 2 things. And I want to take a moment, an opportunity for you to see if you can guess what are those things actually are. Go ahead and unmute yourself and share what are the things that you really think about that makes all the difference when it comes to getting to have your GPS of success work flawlessly for you.
A desire.
I love that. That's an amazing answer. Michael, any thoughts?
Just inner passion, as you said. Without a life without passion, without purpose, sometimes it's not worth living.
Mindset.
Nice. Mindset. Those
Inspiration.
are, those are all great answers. And here's what I had in mind when I was developing the special private training and experience just for you. See, without a desired destination, where you're actually going, like an address, with all the pieces, meaning the number of the address, the street address, the actual town that it's in, the state, the zip code, all of those pieces of information are vital for our GPS to know. where we're actually wanting to go. And just as important, the GPS needs to know your current location for it to provide valuable insight. How do you go from your current location to your desired destination? Well, let's talk about the desired destination and how do you get greater clarity so that you can know beyond the shadow of the doubt that you are moving towards your desired extraordinary dream life strategically and successfully. And hopefully, a few of these concepts can give you greater leverage to creating greater clarity in your life. See, when my life was a mess, I could not even think about having a dream life. I was just looking to get out of my mess. And for the moment, if you that's not where you are at, I want to talk to the person that maybe is. Maybe you don't see your way out to tomorrow. See, when I was depressed and suicidal, the number one thing when it came to create clarity in my life that was important is for me to create movement in my life, meaning to get off the couch, get off the bed. And if you're there, that's really your first opportunity of growth. Making your mess into your message and the thing that will inspire you to figure out a solution. And towards the end of this talk, you'll actually get some actionable steps how you can do this strategically, but at least identify the message you're in and what does it look like to be out of it. Maybe if you're in credit card debt, what would it look like to be out of credit card debt? Maybe if you are in a physical health that's poor, what it would look like to be in a better health. Maybe you have trouble with your relationships. What will it look like for you to have better relationships? So once you actually have movement in your life, the next most important thing that you can create when it comes to clarity is actually having the right direction. See, one of the next times in my life where I was really struggling with clarity, at a time when I was already running 2 businesses and trying to start a third while pulling out my hair, there was one individual that coming up again and again, and his name was Richard Branson. See, this individual that I admired at that time was literally having close to 500 companies that was under his supervision. And I was asking myself, listen, if he can control over 500 companies, how can I not be able to control 3? That's why I learned that next lesson of finding the people that you truly admire, that you would actually be willing to trade your lives with. But I don't want you just to pick anybody. I do want you to ask yourself, why is this individual or his values are truly important to me? And first, you find one of those people. You start really studying them and seeing what is it that they're doing that's different to what you're doing. In time, you add one more and one more until you have 5 of those people in your life. Maybe one of them inspires into entrepreneurship. Maybe another inspires you into greater health. Maybe another inspires you into greater relationships. But that's how you slowly and exponentially grow the people that you choose to surround yourself with and the vision for your life. See, the interesting thing about dreams is that we're all born limitless, and yet we learn and trained into limitations by our family, by our community, and the world. That's why I'm a big proponent. Once you have momentum in your life, you have the right direction in your life, the next opportunity for you is to truly start dreaming again. What would your dream life look like? And see, that's the fun part. For some of you, you don't need to try to come up with a new dream. Maybe you need to uncover the one that you've always had. See, the funny thing about me and my dreams, even as a child, I actually loved figuring out how things work and then sharing that knowledge with others. And yet, I allowed my family, my teachers, my community, to change my perspective from getting to live the life of my dreams and learning how I can be one step closer every time, to learning how to go to school, then going to college, then going to work, and hopefully having a decent retirement. I don't know if you had the same lesson shared with you, but I know that lesson cost me way too much in my life, and I'm no longer willing to pay the price. Now, I would love to show you a simple process that I've taken hundreds, if not thousands, of people through to really help them identify what their extraordinary dream life looks like. And it all starts with one thing: getting your someday dream life on paper, or maybe even into an audio recorder. And the simplest way that I know how to do this is, first and foremost, you change your environment. I want you to go to the beach if that's a possibility, if that's where you truly feel empowered. Or maybe you go to the mountains. That's where you feel the clarity and connection. Or maybe you go just to a nice place like a fancy hotel. Maybe it's a Ritz-Carlton that you've always wanted to go to but never had the opportunity to. Go there for a cup of coffee. Enjoy the views that the hotel or this amazing place provides. Or maybe if you don't have access to any of those, maybe you can find a safe place in your car or a different place outside your regular current environment. And I just want you to take a moment to give yourself at least a half an hour to write down or to record anything that comes to your mind, or maybe even more importantly, to your heart, about your extraordinary dream life someday. And listen, this is not the time to judge it whether it's possible or not. This is not the time to look at it and judge it against your past and saying, well, because I haven't done this in my past, I'll never get this in my future. And last but not least, I want you to think about those few things in your life that truly brings you the most joy and smiles to your face or tears to your eyes, because it violates the principles that you live by, that you stand for. What is that impact that you want to create when you bring in the success and the significance into your extraordinary dream life? No matter what it looks like. Maybe it's just serving your family and having a great family. Maybe it's having a great business and an impact on a community. Or maybe, just maybe, you might be one of the crazy ones like myself that just want to change the world, one family, one community at a time. Once we had a chance to write down your someday dream, the next greatest opportunity for you to discover your one day goals and dreams. See, now this is the time where you consider seeing yourself in a year or maybe even 5 years if you need that additional time to make that dream more of a reality in your mind. See, when it comes to someday, we open up the possibilities of the world. On one day dream, now we get to pick the direction that dream can be more of a reality around. For example, for me, I'm looking to impact 1 billion lives. One day dream for me is having a business that will, one, not only create the impact that I'm looking to create, but also finance the life of my dreams. Maybe for you, it's real estate. Maybe for you, it's learning a little bit about investing. But once you have a clarity of dream and the direction you want to go towards, the number one thing that I would invite you to consider is asking yourself, not how can I do this, but who can I connect who can help me do this easier and faster. For example, if you're talking about being on the path of real estate as part of your bigger dreams of owning homes all over the world, or maybe just even your own home, well, maybe a first step could be picking up a book or two from a bookstore or a library on real estate? What are the important elements so you can start learning and growing towards that dream that you will achieve one day? Or maybe you even want to ask people in your groups, who do they know who is either A, is in the real estate world, or B, who is a very successful in that world. This will give you the opportunity to come together and to really collapse time when it comes to getting to the life of your dreams. And now we're getting to 2-day vision, mission, and goals. Now we get to really put the rubber to the road. If we selected a book, like an example of real estate, what are we willing to commit every day? For example, how many pages would you read a day in order to get you one step closer every day towards your dream? If it's meeting with an individual, how often will we meet with him? And how committed are you to your dream and the value that you can bring to this individual as well? See, I know that having today dream goal days doesn't always mean that you're going to get to live your extraordinary life overnight in its fullness, but you can have moments where you're starting to do it. For example, for me, I get to have my miracle mornings just for me because that's something that I see in my dream life. I get to consume content an hour a day that will move me closer toward my dream life every day because that's something that I would do in my dream life anyway. Right? In the beginning, I gave myself, at first, honestly, it was 5 minutes just for me and my dreams. As I was very diligent with those 5 minutes, they grew into a half an hour, and then an hour, and then 3 hours. And I was able to get back to myself and my dreams. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but it is possible. Now that you've gotten some greater clarity around the life of your dreams and maybe some of the actions that you can take strategically to get you so much closer to it even faster, I want to talk about one thing that can literally stop your dreams in its tracks. And that is the power of your story, which really consists of the stories that you choose to keep, the moments that created those stories, and the meanings that you assign to those moments. Now, if you're really serious about getting to achieve the life of your dreams and the impact it can create in the world, I want you to ask yourself this question. What is your story that comes up every time when you think about doing something great, creating impact? See, I want you to take a moment to really think about it and put it in the comments below. I want to see actually what are some of the stories. So maybe at the end of this training, we can actually have some discussions around those stories if that would be of value to you. Or if you're actually watching this recording, consider leaving a comment below about what is your story and how has it stopped you in the past and what is that story stopping you has cost you so far. If I can help, I'll do my best to help you pivot that story. And as you're taking a moment to put your story in the chat or in the comments below, I want to take a moment and give you an example how powerful this concept can really be. See, one of my stories was that I was never supposed to speak. See, that story was created in a moment where culturally I heard that children were seen, not heard. And the meaning that I chose to create for myself that created my story is that I'm not supposed to speak up. I'm not supposed to be speaking. If I still chose to hold that story true for myself, we would not be having this conversation. One of my darkest times when I was dealing with depression, suicidal ideations, in that moment, it created a lot of guilt and shame. And for a long time, I held that story close to my heart. I didn't want to share it with anybody because I didn't want them to think less of me. And yet it's amazing when I chose to share that story for the first time off stage. I don't even know why I did it. I just felt the need to. I realized one thing is that when you have a story, it will rule your life. But when you choose to share your story and transform it, it can change, if not even save lives. Because at the end of that talk, amazing individuals came to me and said, "Thank you so much for the courage to share your story." Because I was dealing with this, I was dealing with that. Through the power of my story and being able to shift it for myself, I was able to create guidance and light for those that were still in the darkness and still dealing with their stories. And now that you've written down the story that stops you every time, I want you to ask yourself, what was that moment? Just like for me, my moment was in my childhood, hearing the elders telling me that children are seen, not heard. What was that moment? I want you to really think about it and write it down. And last but not least, what was the meaning that you chose to create around that moment? I want you to take a moment and really think about it, feel into it, write it down. And last but not least, my last question to you is this. The story that you're looking at right now, that you just wrote down, is this story serving you? And if it does, let's keep it. Let's magnify it. Let me give you an example. Remember the story that I told you that I've always loved figuring out how things work and then sharing my knowledge with others? Well, now I get to magnify that story in me being a world-class thought leader that gets to not only serve the world, but to change it. See, that's me keeping the story and magnifying it. What story can you keep and magnify in your life? Are you a great parent? Are you great at business? Are you great at creating community? What is that story that you can keep and magnify to really highlight your ability and gifts? And if that story does not serve you, ask yourself, can you reframe it? Let me give you an example. One of the hardest moments in my life was my depression and suicidal ideations. See, the original story is that I was worthless. I had nothing to add to the world. How I chose to reframe that story is that one, it allowed me the great clarity what was truly important to me and what was not. And two, it allowed me to really understand what individual can go through in those moments so I can connect and help more people that might end up going through the same thing and will have a hard time reframing it. So what is the story that may not be supporting you, but needs to be reframed? And if the story does not serve you and you cannot see a way to reframe it, my invitation to you, just delete it altogether. See, we have a selective mind and the power of choice, and we can use it wisely to remove the stories that don't add value to our lives. They're no longer serving us. I want you to choose to inspire and support yourself with empowering stories because it makes the world of difference. Trust me, I know it. I've been doing this for years. As we're completing our conversation around your desired location, I want to deep dive a bit more on your current location and what are some of the most important elements that you can use in order to get very clear about where you're currently at so you can get on the road towards where you're going. See, let's use an example of maybe we're looking to improve our physical health. And usually for that to happen, we need a desired goal, meaning how much do we want to actually weigh at the end of our journey? And number two, we need to get on the scale to understand where we're currently at so we can understand better what exercises would serve us first, then next, before we get to our ideal health, weight, and image. And I love starting this conversation with something that I do with my clients all the time, and it's called Your Life Snapshot. This is a document that you create for yourself and by yourself. And the simplicity of it is taking a moment and writing down, what does your current life look like? What does your job look like? What does your financial life look like? What does your relationships look like? What does your impact looks like? What kind of house are you living in? Is it your starter home or is it your dream home? Are you taking care of it? Are you upgrading it? Or are you more just living in it and existing in it? What are the relationships? What are the conversations are you having? What is the mindset of yours like around the life of your dreams? See, I want you to take these elements and these details and just write them out as a letter to your future self. One of the things that I realized working with hundreds of clients and partners is that it's very simple to get used to the good life. And it's also just as easy to remember the bad moments because that's how our brain works. And so, one of the things that I've used for me and my clients is these life snapshots where you write a letter to yourself dictating every element of your life that you can think of. And if you can't come up with any, just use the worksheet that we're going to provide with a special private training for you to do this easy and simply. And take that piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and hide it somewhere for at least 6 months to a year. And then revisit that list and see how different your life looks like. And at that time, you'll do another for another 6 months or a year if that really served you to see the huge progress that you were able to create in such short period of time. Once your life snapshot is complete, this is a great time to look at identifying the gap between the life of your dreams and your current location. This is not the time to beat yourself up. This is just to identify what's the difference. Is it financial difference? Is it a mental difference? Is it difference in assets or quality of life? Or maybe even the values that you choose to support. Maybe right now, your values don't align with the values of somebody that gets to live a dream life. This is where you identify the gap. What's missing? And then, last but not least, you identify one element that would create the greatest difference in closing that gap. Maybe for you, it's creating greater health in your life. Maybe it's creating greater wealth, meaning financial wealth. Maybe it's creating greater happiness in relationships. That will create a greater difference in your life and move you forward strategically towards your extraordinary dream life. And once you've identified that one thing that would make all the difference, my invitation to you is start creating strategic, smart goals. What is that one small thing that you can do every day that just by doing it, it will make other things easier or unnecessary? For example, for me, one of my strategic smart goals is having a morning miracle. Number two is working on my boulders, not my sand, meaning moving that one thing forward towards the life of my dreams every day. To me, that's how I'm using strategic smart goals. And if you want more training in strategic smart goals, either A, you can Google it, or two, you can come and hang out in the Dream Hacker community, and we'll be more than happy to assist you with creating your smart goals. And last but not least, I want you to take those goals and picture it. Here's a fun fact. Your brain does not work in words. It works in pictures. Even if I say a word, there's going to be a picture in your mind that will pop up that will associate it. Let me give you an example. Pink elephant. See, you didn't have the word of pink elephant in your mind, You started seeing, envisioning a pink elephant. That's why creating a vision board is vitally important to you, so that your brain can not only see what's important to you in words, but it can see the pictures that can start bringing it forward. Once you've actually created your dream board or a vision board in that case, here's one of the strategic steps that I love getting my clients to do next. That is shop your dreams. Go to that dream house and take a picture inside it so that you can have the feeling, the experience of being in that home, in that energy. If you have a dream car that you've always wanted, go into the dealership and ask them to have a test drive. Ask them, what do the numbers look like? Create such clarity in your life that you will be able to be just one step closer to it. And take those pictures and add them to the vision board. And here's a fun fact that I learned from a billionaire mentor of mine. Once you've created the vision board, once you've shopped your vision and you added those pictures to the board, I want you to do one last thing for me. I want you to habit stack. Take those pictures that are most meaningful to you about your dream life and put them on your bathroom mirror, so that every morning that you get up, you brush your teeth, you getting to see your vision board, the life of your dreams coming to you sooner, faster, and easier. I promise you that will keep the clarity of your vision right at the top of mind, which will give you the greatest opportunity to actually achieve it and bring it into your life. And now that you know everything about creating great clarity around the life of your dreams, I want to talk about the next word that changed the trajectory of my life, and that is commitment. See, the biggest lesson that I've learned is that everything in life has a price. The food that we eat, the shelter that we get to keep, and even the device that you're currently on. Ask yourself, how much was it worth? And what about your dream? What is it truly worth to you? See, things of great value have a great price. And a serious question you need to ask yourself, are you really just curious about your extraordinary dream life? Or are you actually serious? And are you committed to it? I tell my clients all the time, don't tell me everything that you want to have. Tell me, what are you willing to sacrifice for? See, when we start talking about sacrifice, I know they're not just curious about their dreams. They're really serious about them. Because as I've learned the hard way, that it's better to live with the results of your efforts versus regrets due to lack of it. It brings me to the next very important question. Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort today for a better tomorrow and the future of your dreams? And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy at first, but what I can tell you is it's worth it. And the hardest lesson that I ever had to learn is that no one was coming to rescue me. Or more importantly, as this conversation is about you, no one is coming to rescue you. And we can talk about blame and responsibility all day long, but here's a few things that I want to highlight to make a point. There's only two states in life that I identified. You can choose to be a victim and be in the game of blame, or you can choose to be a victor and be responsible for your life, your choices, and exercising your greatest gift, which is the power of choice. You get to choose what your extraordinary dream life looks like. You may have born to adversity, or adversity found you, but what you choose to do with that adversity will make all the difference. And first and foremost, One of the greatest choices that you can make for yourself is choose to love yourself first. Help yourself to heal. Be around the community and the individual that will support you healing your wounds so that you can get stronger, that you can start believing in yourself, that you can start rebuilding an unshakable trust by making your word actually mean something. Because when you give it, people can take it to the bank. They can trust you, but more importantly, that you can trust yourself, that anything that you choose to commit to from this day forward will be done. As you go through the journey, you'll have the opportunity to truly become the leader that people would follow. And the simplest way to do that is to choose to become the leader that you would follow first. And you would be surprised how many people can really identify with those leaders that not only talk the talk, but walk the walk. See, when you're not just talking the talk, but walking the walk, what you're really creating is the power of momentum, also known as the domino effect. See, the interesting thing about the dominoes is there's been many studies on the physics of dominoes and the fact that a domino can knock down a domino 1.5 its size. When they would start with a domino not taller than an inch tall, the amazing thing is by domino 23, the domino size would literally rival the Eiffel Tower in France. By domino 31, it would be as high as Mount Everest. And by domino 57, it will literally be able to reach the moon. So how can you create a domino effect in your life? What are those small strategic actions that will make all the difference? Which brings me only to one question left. Would you choose to work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on your work and 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. on your dream? Are you willing to wake up just a little bit earlier every morning to get to live the life of your dreams, to take those strategic, minimal, viable actions that will make all the difference and create the momentum effect in your life? And last but not least, measure the gain, not the gap. Make sure to stack those wins as big as you can. Create that domino effect in your life and allow your life to never be the same. And last but not least, choose to use the power of selective belief by empowering beliefs that truly serve you and the releasing those that don't. Which really brings us to the last word that truly changed the trajectory of my life. And that was community. And how can you use it to your unfair advantage? So when it comes to community, why should you create a community and more importantly, a mastermind? See, the answer is simple. One, the community and the mastermind gets you access to limitless specialized knowledge. It gives you the ability to have strategic shared resources. And last but not least, you'll have priceless strategic partners, not only to do life with, to do business with, but to create great, amazing impact. So how do you do this strategically? Now, can I tell you the biggest secret I have ever discovered when it gets to living the life of your dreams? The truth is, willpower by itself just does not work. Well, if we cannot rely on our will, what can we rely on? What is the alternative? The answer lies in my $100,000 lesson. Boy, was that an expensive one. That your environment is stronger than your willpower. See, when I got a chance to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, and Bruce Willis, One of the things that I asked them was, how were you able to create such success in a small group? And the answer really blew my mind. Arnold told me this: before you network up, network wide. I didn't really understand what that meant until I really started putting into practice. What he was trying to say is this: we didn't try to go after producers that we didn't know that were casting A-list actors. But what they chose to do is they chose to create a community of like-minded individuals. They would study scripts together. They would practice their craft together. And the next one blew my mind. They literally went to auditions together. When they were supposed to compete, they chose to collaborate. They told me that if it wasn't one of them that would get the part, maybe the other one would, and they would support each other. No wonder that for decades we saw blockbuster after blockbuster literally being released by one star and then the other. It's almost like their careers became like parallel rivers where they all had rivers of abundance, which really inspired me to create the next exercise of creating or upgrading your core 5 people in your life. First, you have to identify who are the 5 people you spend the most of your time with. I want you to stop this recording and actually do it right now. And if you are with me live, I'm going to make sure to cut out this part, but I'm going to give you the time to do the same. Now that you've actually had a chance to write down who are the 5 people that you choose to surround yourself with, you created great clarity about the people that have the greatest impact on your life and whether you will achieve the life of your dreams or live the life of your default. Next question I want you to ask yourself: how much time do you actually spend with them? I want you to create awareness of how much time are you actually investing into these relationships? And what is the core of the conversations that you're having in these relationships? Are you talking about the world, the gossip, the biggest scams, or are you talking about opportunities, growth, and business development, or maybe even achieving the life of your dreams and creating the skills or the assets to do it? Really think hard about this. Again, if you're watching the recording, pause it here. For those that are with me live, I'll go ahead and give you a couple more minutes and then share in the chat, just like you did before. And last but not least, step 3 of this simple but very powerful process. Look at the 5 people that you just wrote down on your list and ask yourself honestly, are they the individuals that are bringing you closer to the life of your dreams, or are they moving you further? Are they adding money to your bank, or they're costing you money? Are they helping you create more time in your life, or they're actually taking the greatest resource, which is your time? And last but not least, when it comes to creating, identifying, and upgrading your core 5, is this. It's a quote that I've shared time again and again. It's simple, but it's very powerful. See, I love people, and I had to learn this the hard way. If people in your life don't allow you and support you flying, they are the ones that are keeping you on the ground. I know it's a very cold way to look at it, but you have to ask yourself, is your dream life, your impact that you can create in the world, worth the sacrifice of the few people that may not always choose to show up for themselves and expect you to show up to rescue them? I really want you to think about that. And when it comes to really strategically upgrading your 5 or creating your community, the next step is a game changer. First and foremost, I want you to identify that one person who will become your first strategic growth partner. And what do I mean by a strategic growth partner? This is just not a friend or accountability partner. Yes, a friendship is a bonus. Accountability is a must. But the key element to a strategic growth partnership is that the individual by themselves has a growth mindset. They are actually looking to achieve greater things in their life. They're moving towards their extraordinary dream life, even if it's completely different from yours. See, partnering with an individual like that will make all the difference. They'll be there for you when you don't feel like showing up, and you can be there for them when they have that moment of weakness. And here's the other lesson that I had to learn the hard way. When it comes to creating that first strategic growth partner, once you've created one, it actually goes back to the sayings that the Navy SEALs talk about all the time. They say that when you have one, you have none. Meaning, once you've created your first, I highly invite you to consider creating a second. Because when you have two strategic growth partners, if one is going through life adversity at the moment, the other can come to your support, and vice versa. With a greater number of individuals in the group can be stronger every time. Which brings me to the next concept of building your board of directors. All that it means, once you have successfully identified and partnered with your first strategic growth partner, you create a second and a third and a fourth. In my opinion, a board should have no less than 5 amazing strategic growth partners that support one another. It doesn't happen overnight, and you don't have to know exactly who's in your board of directors. But the concept behind this is this. If the greatest people have sororities behind them, if the greatest company have board of directors behind them, if the greatest charities have board of trustees, why wouldn't you consider having a board of directors of your life and your dreams? See, when you have a board of directors, one of the reasons why it's vital to have it, when you have that next big idea, or you're about to create a life-altering decision, it's always good to come to a board of directors and have a quick conversation. Hey, I'm about to write a book. I'm about to start a business. I'm about to start a charity. What do you guys think about? And how do we approach this strategically so that I'm not losing time, energy, and money, paying for the mistakes that you really don't have to because you have a board of directors. See, for me, when it comes to my board of directors, I tend to be the advisor on the business consulting element because I've been doing business consulting for last 15 years. I have members in my board of directors that are all about storytelling, where they help people and brands tell stories strategically. Health, business, impact. What are the areas of life that you want to find other strategic board members in your life? And last few closing thoughts when it comes to your board of directors or who actually qualifies to be on it. Number one, they know you, they like you, they trust you, you do business with them, and you are willing to actually respect their opinion in their area of genius. As you've had a chance to create your board of directors, the next strategic step in building your community and your movement is creating what I call a power circle. Who are the individuals that qualify to be in your power circle? And the simplicity is this: they know you, they like you, they trust you, and they're doing business with you. See, this is your closest inner circle members that you are actually already doing business with. If a board of directors will usually be anywhere from 5 to 15 people, my power circle can grow to the size of 150 people that I choose to keep in my closest inner circle. Remember, these are the people that know you, like you, trust you, and you're actually doing business with them. Now that you understand who are the individuals that belong in your power circle, your next strategic step in sorting the most amazing relationships in your life is to create what I call your inner circle. What's the difference? See, the people that qualify for your inner circle, they know you, they like you, and trust you, and you have two-way communication with them. See, this is the people that part of your, as I call, inner circle. These are the people that will hang out in your community, they'll add value to your community, and they will be inspired by your community to take greater steps into their own life, and maybe even being a bigger part of your life by adding value to the community that you're creating. And last but not least, we talk about creating your circle of influence. Who are the people that belong in your circle of influence? See, when it comes to the circle of influence, these are the people that may know about you, they may even like you, but they don't quite trust you yet to take that step forward into your inner circle. The big difference between people that are in your inner circle and your circle of influence is the type of communication that is between the relationship. When it comes to the inner circle members, it's a two-way communication, meaning it's a group communication. There's chats, there's trainings inside where they can actually have a two-way conversation with you. When it comes to your circle of influence, usually this is an example where you may have a following on your social media platforms, on different organizations and network that you're a part of, that people know of you and they may like you, but they haven't taken the step forward to be part of your inner circle. They still listen to you. There's still great value in having a powerful circle of influence when you add amazing value to these individuals, because these are the individuals that are most likely to take that step forward once you've added enough value in their life into your inner circle, then your power circle, and then maybe even your board of directors if they really connect with your vision, mission, and the goals that you choose to set for the community. Now that you've learned all about how you can guarantee your results, create great leverage in your life, business, and impact, and more importantly, how do you not only attract, but develop and evolve those amazing life-altering relationships at scale, and maybe even build a community and a movement, I have just a few closing thoughts. I want you to consider to stop being a dreamer and hoping to live your dream life someday, and consider becoming a dream hacker and start living your dream life today. See, as I said, I value your greatest gift that you've chosen to give me today by giving me your greatest resource of attention and time. As a thank you from the bottom of my heart, I want to leave you actually with one last ultimate gift. This is my life's work, and my greatest dream is to create a community of like-minded individuals that are not only like-minded, heart-centered, but also mission-driven. And as a result of you gifting me your time by going through this special private training, I want to offer you one last gift. Consider becoming part of our community of dream hackers. Allow us to serve you and your community as you getting to achieve greater quality of your life, creating greater businesses, and creating more sustainable impact for days, months, and years to come. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to hear some of the questions that I can serve you with as we finish up this special private training on unlocking your hidden potential and living the life of your dreams while creating the impact that you've always wanted to create in the world. Thank you.
Just want to thank you from my heart, Alexi, for sharing. That was amazing. I know some people would have some questions, or as you said, comments. My biggest takeaway was about the connection, about having some type of list. You know, they say it's going to be five years from now, you can be the same person you are, except for the people you associate with. I'm just really honored to be in this community, which is like family. You guys can go ahead, unmute yourselves, please. And I see Shanine.
Go ahead, Shanine.
Hi. First of all, just thank you so much. It was delightful, and you got me thinking. Some light at points. The first one was environment for me. What does that look like? During these past 3-4 years, that landscape has changed for me quite a bit. And even the people that are in it, right? When you were talking about who are those 5 people, and it's like, wow, I kind of cleaned house, you know. But I think those are 2 of the key things that are coming in my space right now. I'm really excited because I'm standing for not just situational friends. I think some of the people that I had close to me over the years were more situational friends. As I've also been assessing of who's who and what's what and how are we related to each other, I was kind of being a little bit small when you are a person that serves a lot. And if you're an empath, as I am, there's a lot of people that are needy. And understanding that distinction that you also met, you know, about the deserving versus needy. And I think that's a space where I definitely am pouring light and attention into, because that's hard. That's been a challenge for me. I know there's a lot of needy people and I get sucked dry. and so creating healthy boundaries, really identifying with those distinctions about the needy and the deserving, and just keeping that environment fresh and healthy. Man, I'm so pumped because this is just such a reiteration of the things that I've been working on. So thank you so much for that.
Shanine, the greatest leverage for you would be, and this is what I learned the hard way. I hit those walls with the wrong people because I was bending over backwards because I have a big heart. And eventually it brought me to my lowest point because it was not sustainable. So I would invite you to consider, yes, looking for those people that are deserving, but for you, I would even go a step further, is truly connecting with the givers, because not everybody is a giver and you are. So when you connect with a giver, now there's reciprocity happening. And now you have that abundant energy flow, just like with the video that I shared, is those people that will come aside, you know, and support you in your, you know, times of darkness of the soul. I think there's a term. So hopefully that adds value too.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I'd like to say something. This was just a bigger eye-opening. You've been trying to talk to me, and it was like seeing it now, putting it, I was like, oh, I understand. Now I get it. Especially the part, and I was agreeing with Shanine about the people, the inner circle, the givers, and you know, the was it the whiny people, and the, you know, giving to the
needy and the deserving.
The needy and the deserving. And I started thinking about, oh my gosh, now I'm seeing the difference in my life. Who are the needies and who are the deserving? And it's making me rethink a bunch about my relationship and where I want to go, and letting go and being okay with letting go of the needy and the people that don't deserve my time any longer. The 5 people, when you started thinking that, it has changed. I wrote down the 5 people without even thinking about, just wrote what was coming, the names that were coming to me. And it was different than when ones I thought I would end up with at the end of my life. And the ones that the ones that I thought, the 5 friends that I had, it's all changed, that they don't uplift me, whereas the new group that I have down are the ones that have uplifted me and encouraged me to live in my alignment, in my true self. And the other ones, I cannot do that. And it's a mind blowing for me, because it's changed how I had viewed where I was going to be at the end of my life with these people. It's so different. So I'm just, now it's just so much easier to just go with this and to flow with it and not fight it, because it's just so much easier. I'm excited to even go even further with this. And thank you, Alexi. This was amazing. I love it. And it's just different perspective now on my life. Thank you so much.
Alma, it's
Oh,
truly
and
my pleasure.
Yeah, I
Go
have one more
ahead.
thing, and it's so funny because you brought this up, and it's a little bit what my letter that I finally have it done has to say, and it's amazing. Where it's so funny, it was like, oh my God, that's exactly at the end, and I wrote it for 5 years and 5 years ahead. So I'll, and it's like, wow, it just, and then have you do this is just, it's mind blowing.
See, the
Thank you,
thing I
Alexi.
wanted to share and what you really highlighted is the true power of that simple exercise, because that simple exercise, most people dismiss it or they don't do it because they think it's so simple. But creating that awareness around the people that you surround yourself with, that you spend time with, is huge and a game changer. Because once you know who they are, and if they're actually moving you a step closer or a step further, it becomes very clear. And you don't have to, get them out of your life, meaning like, oh, I'm going to cut you off. No, you still love them. You're still there for them,
Right.
but you just take a step back, allow them to follow if they like. And if they don't, maybe then, the transition is there, for that person to transition out of your life that creates the greatest good for them and you. See, that's what I truly believe when it comes to relationships. When somebody is ready to go out of your life, celebrate it. Don't mourn it. Allow them to let go, because now you're creating that space for the right people to come into your life. The ones that you can collaborate, they would add value to you, versus trying to hold on to the one that didn't, whether you realize it or not.
Right,
So thank you
exactly.
for that.
Alexi, I want to say thank you. I really appreciate, sharing your wisdom with us. And I know at times it can be difficult to step into the limelight, but you definitely did an amazing job, kept it extremely simple, and made it very helpful for a lot of us, because one of my takeaways out of it was the people that want to soar with you, even from your family. That one kind of hit home, because I have a number of people that I would feel that should be on your side and wanting for you to succeed, and they don't. And you have to, basically, like what you said, love them from afar and understand that, your journey is different than other people's journeys. So you have to do your best in what you have and have laser focus on it. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
Max, here's the thing. One of the hardest things I had to do, and it truly almost tore out my heart, is to say no to my family. Because my family is the thing that meant to support you, that meant to love you. And they do love you, but they love a different version of you that they see. So it stops you from growing. And when I looked at my life, and it's almost like I had a lost decade of my life, because I was putting everybody first but Alexi, where I wasn't putting the oxygen mask on to Alexi first. The rest of the relationship suffered because I couldn't show up in my fullness. I was always showing up in lack, because I was going through thing after thing after thing, and I wasn't feeding myself. So that's why I always talk about, and we actually had this conversation, but I would like to highlight it in this moment, is that, one, protect your dot. Always love and protect your dot. And, there's another fun gentleman that said, even please your dot, right? What gives you pleasure? Second, focus on that power circle, create that power circle of like-minded people that will be there for you no matter what. Then you can have your, inner circle and circle of influence. The family actually comes as a second stage of your, of protecting the dot. The dot comes first, then your relationship with your wife, your family, and then that secondary family, parents, grandparents, kids, and all other things. And then obviously your, what I call a chosen family. And sometimes chosen family actually comes ahead of my own family because they've added value to me time again and again. And I always want to be in reciprocity with those people. So sometimes when I have a chosen family, a person that needs something and they've added value to me, and then I have my own family that they need, but it's not a crisis, I will choose the chosen family because that's what feeds me first. And then I'm able to give out abundance. So I just wanted to share that for you and everybody that's here and actually watching the replay too. So hopefully you get some value out of that point. Julie, I would love to hear what you were sharing.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Alexi. I'm sorry I was late to the call, but I'm so glad I was able to be part of this training. The jump outs for me, the number one thing is you must move to a place of discomfort. I think we have our strengths, and then on our weak places is where I know for me, I tend to shy away. And the tutorial in building the mastermind dream life with the board of directors, because we all know everything is about relationships. I appreciate that in order to go with the flyers, I may have to move into a place that doesn't feel comfortable at the moment in order to see the fruition. In other words, the Lord can take me to the river, but I need to put my foot in the water. This really spoke to me about go with the flyers. Also, the self-management, so valuable, such gold. We can function better and give more, be more when that first cut is for the Thanksgiving and the resources of rebuilding, recharging, making sure that we're experiencing the joy in every single moment. So that just speaks volumes to me. It couldn't be more timely, this tutorial, as I am actually just stepping off into this mastermind district and building the resources of the people management, the opportunity management, to be able to be mindful enough to choose, not to just take what comes, but to mindfully decide what that circle will look like, and actually, through our previous resource energies, to be able to bring that to the table. It is possible to bring it to the table. And I also still always look at that onion when you talked about getting to the heart of the why, right? Because it's easy to say those general statements, help other people, be a soldier for the Lord, turn our ministry to the children for health. But those are the bigger pictures. And I really appreciate your experience in going deeper with that and saying, no, pull it apart. What is the one true nugget that really needs to have the passion? But I am so blessed. Thank you so much, Alexi, because you are so incredibly valuable. I just praise God that I could be in this situation to experience this with this community. I'm so proud to be here. So thank you very much.
Julie, one thing I did want to add real quickly is that when you have a true mastermind around you, right, that family, that pride, getting out of your comfort zone becomes fun. Because when you truly know that your environment, that your mastermind, that your pride has your back no matter what, now you get to jump faster, easier, and higher. And it just keeps compounding and compounding and compounding if you stick with the practice and you allow. So I wanted to share
incentive.
that.
That's the incentive, because when we first started talking about it, and it's because in the very beginning, you have to make the right choices to bring those people, because they're not here now. Who am I talking to? There's a dog. He's not very helpful, but he's very cute. So bringing those relationships in, I think is, I'm at that very front cutting, right? Just first cutting on the stone to say, who are the people that I desire? What types of people do I want to draw to myself? Because there is not the community there now. I'm just in a different, matrix right now. My kids are grown and gone. I'm going to be celebrating my 60th birthday. So it's a really different thing. And I think the most important thing is the mindfulness, to, like we did before, see it, envision it, put it out there, put it on the paper. Do you see it? Okay, now focus and move myself into those other communities where I can be part of the group and begin to establish who has that vibration. Who is it that I want to draw closer to me? But you don't think you're not on the list.
Julie, you're so amazing because honestly, you're inspiring me to share something really quick. When you talk about, those key relationships, the truth is there's one point that's leaving my mind, but I guess I'll focus on this one, is that in my darkest moment, I could not even think about 5 people. I'm like, I can't even handle 5. Like, who's the one, right? Who's that one person? And at that time, with my mindset and everything that was going on, I didn't see the value myself. So therefore, there was a lot of things going on through my head. And which leads me to the point I wanted to share is when it comes to mentors, there's 3 types of mentors that I've seen in my life, or 3 kinds of mentors. The first one is shadow mentor. This is somebody that you see a light in and you're looking to follow them. And for me, I started with books and podcasts because I did not have, I was part of the NFL. I didn't have the friends that I really needed for me to start growing. I had a lot of takers. Like at my 26th birthday, I had 300 people at my house celebrate my birthday. And when I thought about it, I could count on one hand, maybe the people that I actually wanted to have in my life. And I had to make that choice. You know what? I'm going to step out of that and I'm going to step in. And I went into the fortune of solitude. I started listening to podcasts, books. Eventually doing that allowed me to have 1 person, 2 and 3. And so shadow mentorship, that's powerful. The next is a gap mentor, meaning find somebody that your ideal mentor, that strategic mentor has already trained, because getting into a relationship with them, it's much easier because they're not at the top, but they still have the knowledge and the wisdom from the top. And when you create a relationship with that person, you add value to them. You coming together, you guys both raise to the strategic mentor and you reach out to them and you add value to him much easier and faster, that leads you to the direct mentor. So that's the piece I wanted to kind of add through your inspiration. And yeah, like that's what it is. You start with small crumbs and you just, habit stack. Everybody, and that's the point that I want to make sure that I delivered clearly. Everybody starts somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you end up and who are the people that you choose to walk with. That's the greatest key.
Continue forward motion,
Yes,
persistence,
can we-
perseverance, never giving up. And even when I stumble or if fall forward.
That's right.
Yes.
Alexi, thank you. Hi, Julie. That was amazing. And Alexi, thank you for surprising us today with this presentation. It was awesome. I really do resonate with, those people that are deserving, and also finding your family, it's who you attract as well, when it comes to these people, coming into your life, that be your mentor or your new sister, these things come to you when you have the right intent. And you did a masterful job in providing us with ways to master ourselves and to master our surroundings. And that means be accountable. And you did mention going through the dark nights of the soul. I think that's what you were trying to refer Yes, and going through that means that you have to really deal with what's in the closet. You have to let them out. You have to deal with them, put them in perspective, and kick them out of your life for good. But you have to address it. You know, you have to tell the things that are deep inside that you're holding, and you know it is a doozy. And if you say anything, it could ruin things. But you have to. You have to clear that monkey off your back so that you can be free. You got to step in those waters, like Julie said. You can take you to the water, but you got to put your foot in it. You can take the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. But you have the power to do these things. And I am really thankful for your message today. You did a masterful job.
Thank you so much, Joy. One of the things that actually you remind me about, one of the greatest lessons that I learned is this: you train other people how to treat you. And
By
if
the way, you
do
treat
not
them.
draw that line, they will cross it, right? And if you have that line of like, these are non-negotiables. If you want to stay in my life, here's what I will not tolerate. Your life
Yes,
changes. So having
that's so true.
standards. So
That's so true. And by experience, you know, I've been offended and, you know, it's just like, okay, I'm going to continue to love you. You know, I'm still going to reach out, but I just can't give you my heart because I'm afraid you're going to break it. So you create these boundaries, like you said, but it doesn't mean you have to give up, right? So it was really good. Thank you, Alexi.
Oh, I'm tagging on that one, Alexi. Train others how to treat you. Use your inner strength to empower your permission to yourself for that assertiveness. Train yourself to be accountable to say, when you communicate with me, these are the ways of communication that work for me. When we discuss this, this is how I like it to go. When you do this, I need it like that. Amen, brother. That's a golden one.
Alexi, you did an amazing job. I'm really proud of you. And from the standpoint of someone who's known you for 13 years, and to see how you've grown and gone from shy and withdrawn and not wanting to share and not wanting to state how you feel and not wanting to talk to anybody to now wanting to talk to the whole world to share your mindset and your beliefs. I'm just so, so proud of you. And you look amazing too, by the way, in your outfit. So that's cool also. And your PowerPoint, everything was just wonderful. So I applaud you and I lift you up. And I want to just tell you, you did an amazing job. Absolutely amazing.
Love you, Janine.
Love you,
you know,
too.
Janine, thank you for sharing. And I want to publicly state that you're one of those key relationships in my life that allowed me to stay me, that allowed me the safety net, emotional safety net, to not give up on my dreams and what I was meant to do in this world. So, you know, thank you very much for being who you are and show up in the world and creating more light, which allowed me to shine brighter because I saw your example and I just followed it and I chose to do the same. And that's really, I believe, the true power of this community, that we can help others not only recognize their light, but to shine others.
I agree totally, Alexi. And from the standpoint of the person who took me as a really sick person and introduced me to our amazing water, and then when I was broke and had no direction, just spinning my wheels, and then you encouraged me to do the business, which totally changed my life. And then introducing me to this company to where 99.999% of my friends and the people in this world that care about me are all in Enagic, and all the traumas and things that I've gone through in my life and my children and Mike and everybody else. And you guys have always been there. So this all started with you because I didn't want to drink your water and I didn't want to do your business and I didn't want to get involved in any of this stuff. So because you lovingly forced me to, my life has totally changed. And I finally can say that I've accomplished something in my life because I felt like a failure at everything in my life, failure at marriages, failure as a mother, failure as a businesswoman. And because of your introduction and pushing me to get involved in this company, I don't feel that way anymore. So I thank you for that as well. So, and thank you for your compliments. I receive it. Something I never said before until recently. So I thank you for that, for saying that, Alexi. Love you dearly.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Janine, down there in Cancun. Alexi, you, my brother from another mother, I've known you for over a decade, but it seems like a lifetime because you are about changing lives. And I want to just say that today was very special for me. I had a tip of the iceberg of what you were going to do. And as Janine said, the PowerPoint, your giving, and I can tell you firsthand what you've met in my life. There are times, and I love that thing about the lions. You notice I was waiting for a whole bunch of lions to come, a big old bunch of big old older lions with big manes, and it just took one. That's, as you say, one relationship away. And there have been times in my life that you've come to my rescue. And I want to thank you from my heart to your heart, for all of us, for coming to our rescue in times of need, for sharing not only what you know, but who you are. And that is the essence of a person. This community is like family. And we all say that, our second family, our family in spirit. And we're here for those of you that are coming on board or watching this recording. We have something special for you that comes from the heart, something that cannot be seen with the eyes of flesh, but you can feel it. And they say feeling is the secret. My brother, I honor you and each and every one of you that we come together in this hour of power, but there's 168 hours in a week. And I actually have a new way of saying it, 168 hours in a strong, because we don't have any weeks. What we do those other 67 hours is important. And the time you spent with us individually and myself personally to help us create this movement, this crusade, so that we can carry on our mission, which is to change the world one person, one family, and as you said, one community at a time. So we honor you. You guys unmute yourselves. And let's go ahead and give him a real hand.
But before you guys do this, I do want to say one last thing.
Sure.
And it's something that I end all my talks with. Make sure once you pray for something that you create awareness and the ability to see what's coming to you. But also never forget to turn around and look back, because you just might find the person that's been praying for you. That's the true value and my understanding of paying it forward. That it's as it's paid to you, you pay it forward to others. Don't give back, pay it forward. That's what it's all about. Life changes when you focus on service and impact, because the income comes as a result of it. And you know, the other thing I always talk about is this: give more than you can ever receive, and you will receive more than you can ever give. And speaking of the receiving, if you're here live or you're actually watching this recording, I have one final gift for you from my heart to yours. It's my life's work, and I truly believe it can make a huge difference in your life. You can scan the code, or there you go, scan the code, and it'll actually gift you a copy of my Network and Grow Rich book. This is how you create powerful relationships, add value to them, and then create collaborations. This is taking me a lifetime to master, and it's truly my pleasure and honor to pass it forward to you as my life's work. So thank you so much for showing up, for being you, for choosing to step into that light and into that greatness, because others will see your light and they will get just a bit of a permission to do the same, because this is what's all about. Just like Michael says, I love his words, and I'm going to repeat them for you. We are born successful. We choose to become significant.
Wow. Thank you, my brother. Unmute yourselves, everyone. Please.
Woohoo!
All right.
Thank
There
you,
it is.
Lexi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lexi.
Thank you.
Alexi, the QR code is really up high in the corner, so I can't see it. And of course, I'm going through my phone. Is there another way or a link you can drop?
Yes, if you go to networkandgrowrich.com, that will basically lend you there as well.
Network, say it one more time.
Networkandgrowrich.com.
Well, thank all of you. We're at that hour of power, that hour of giving, that hour of receiving. Again, Alexi, from our heart to your heart, thank you for all that you do, seen and unseen. And for those of you, next week, we have another great surprise for you. Every day is a gift. That's why we say live in the now. Another word for now is present. Another way for present is gift. Love you guys. See you next week.
Love you guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Love
Thank
you guys. Take care,
See you next
everybody.
week.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Bye.
Ambassador.